Tell me that ain't beautiful. Thanks for sending that to me, sis. That was awesome. We're going to hear one more from these, the three generations, and this is called the Oklahoma Tech, and then we're going to get into the information. Boom, boom, doo-doo-doo, boom, 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 doo-doo-doo, boom, boom. Down, 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 down. In the 1830s, Americans discovered gold and joy. And it made the Americans crazy for our land. Crazy for our land. They petitioned their government to give the land of the sovereign people, of the Choctaw, the Chickasaw, the Cherokee, the Seminole,
the general American population. Our leaders went and petitioned Congress to say we are a sovereign nation, the same as Canada. You cannot invade the borders of our country and move us.
You cannot, but they have done so.
I have the army. Try and stop me. So in 1835, the army kicked down our doors. We were forced to walk just for what we could carry. From Mississippi, from Alabama, from Georgia, Tennessee, North and South
That
Carolina.
natural vibrato.
We will walk to Oklahoma. In our oral history, this is known as the Trail of Tears.
The Trail of Tears.
Great grandma. Chickasaw, 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 Chickasaw. Oklahoma track. Gonna say it again. Choctaw, 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 Choctaw. Oklahoma track.
Sing, girls. Sing it, queens.
Chickasaw, 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 Chickasaw. Oklahoma track. Have to say it again. Choctaw, 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 Choctaw. Oklahoma track. Cherokee and Creek, you're on the run again. Hills and mountains, please be our friend. Armies after us, Andrew Jackson, we can't run and hide. We need the ancestors to work by our side.
That's facts.
Chickasaw, 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 Chickasaw. Oklahoma track, I'm gonna say it again. Choctaw, 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 Choctaw. Oklahoma track, 5,000 of us, we died along the way. It wasn't dead of the way. We were forced to walk every day. Through the sea, snow, cold, and light. Maybe the mothers died. Don't do I hear some people gonna strive to stay alive. Yeah. Chickasaw, 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 Chickasaw. Who are we? On the Oklahoma track. Choctaw, 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 Choctaw. Longest one, Oklahoma track. Wanna say it again? Chickasaw, 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 Chickasaw. It was an Oklahoma track. Choctaw, 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 Choctaw. Oklahoma track. Maybe you wanna say it like hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, ho.
Tell me that isn't awesome. I got one more, guys. I got to let you hear this third one before we get into it. This one is American Morning Song. American Morning Song. We'll play part of this one. Have to play one more. I know y'all know I'll play it over and over again. Let me stop it because I'll get carried away. What's going on with my beautiful family today? All right, everybody waking up in the house asking me stuff. And there's this so-called what holiday today? What do they call this? A President's Day? What the heck is this about? It sounds like some nonsense. Okay, we're going to get into some information. I hope you guys enjoyed that beautiful rendition from those sisters that were glowing. Y'all already know that's an indigenous sound, indigenous voice. You can hear from the voice who's singing. So we don't even got to get into all of that. All right. We're going to get into the Yuki Indians of Southwest Virginia and their 1857 role. This is by Jim Glanville. There's extensive archaeological and historical evidence for the presence of the Yuki American Indian people in Virginia, Smith, and Washington counties in the 16th century. This article adds the documentary evidence of the 1857 intertribal role held by Remnant Yuchi Nation of Kingsport, Tennessee. With tribal permission, the roll is published here for the first time. The article argues for an end to the long Virginian neglect of its Yuki heritage. Oral tradition preserved by Yachteli tells us that the Yuki, alternatively the Yuchi, American Indian people originated in Cahokia of the Mississippi River near present-day St. Louis, reached western Tennessee by the 14th century and eastern Tennessee by the 15th. The Spanish De Soto, we spoke about De Soto, if you guys can remember, he also went and was the one that went to the Appalachian Mountains, and they were the ones who started the Malonian tribe. Okay? Now, reached western Tennessee by the 14th century and eastern Tennessee by the 15th. Okay, I'm sorry, right that part. Encountered them in the Southwest Virginia in 1541. As ASEAN did the Pardo expedition in 1567, by 1717, the small Yuki tribe, with its unique language, had lost out in the English-promoted Indian slaving wars and had been scattered to many places throughout the Southwest. The Trail of Tears in 1838 to 1839 took most Yuchis west to Oklahoma as part of the Creek Confederacy. A long coalition of diverse Indian towns in South. Despite this removal, the remnant Yuki groups remained in the Appalachia and the U.S. Southeast in the Appalachia, and the Yuki became the leaders of the most removed coalescent Indian movement. As demonstrated by the intertribal role made in the Carter Country, Tennessee in 1857, curated by the Remnant Yuchi Nation in Kingsport, this role that is described and pictured here is new and convincing evidence of the historical role of the Yuki people in Virginia. For many years, the role was held in Floyd County, Virginia. Today, 5 centuries after European contact, the federally recognized Western Yuki in Oklahoma are a minority group under the jurisdiction of the Creek Nation. So they are under the Creek Nation with a jurisdiction, having them under that group. to claim. The Eastern Remnant Yuchi Nation considers to fight for Tennessee. They continue to fight for Tennessee state tribal recognition, although it has abandoned efforts to become recognized in Virginia. By this time, I'm pretty sure this particular tribe has been whited out quite a bit. When Europeans contacted them in Southwest Virginia, the Yuki were a Mississippian people. The term Mississippian characterizes the American Indian society that occupied the Mississippi River watershed and the Deep South during the years 800 to 1600 A.D. Mississippian people generally were platform mound builders. Mississippi people generally were platform mound builders. Platform mound builders relied on maize-based sustenance. They had social ranks and a complex political organization. They were engaged in ceremonial activities and produced highly artistic objects with iconic designs from the marine shell, copper, and their pottery. They also engaged in long distance trade and exchange. They also engaged in long distance trade and exchange. Long distance. Okay. And damn, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to put you guys on hold. That was crazy. I need to take that. Let me see. Hold on a second. They also engaged in long distance trade and exchange. In Southwest Virginia, caves substituted for mounds. In Southwest Virginia, caves substituted for mounds. As Indian ceremonial and religious sites, Mississippian people produced a rich and abundant archaeological record throughout their territory. That record is very well known, except in Virginia, even though they also did the same thing there. The archaeological record of Southwest Virginia divides into proper archaeology and improper archaeology. Proper archaeology and improper archaeology, which we know a lot about that. Proper archaeology is that done by professionals and any amateurs that they supervise. How can they supervise somebody and have them doing something, right? Peace, peace, peace to the family. Peace to everyone that's come in this morning. Yeah. All right, let's get back to this. Improper, excuse me, guys. I have some sinuses. They got this weather acting stupid as usual up here. My ear is plugged up. I feel like I can't hear what I'm saying, but I'm going to work through this. I'm sipping as I come up. Improper archaeology has principally been grave robbing to obtain Indian relics, to collect, or to sell. Although some unsupervised amateurs have excavated to study long lost Indian cultures and donated their finds to the museum, the Yuki Indians left a fabulous archaeological record in Virginia, Smith, and Washington counties. That record comes principally from two kinds of places: large village sites along the three main rivers of the two counties, the north, middle, and south forks of the Holston River, and the caves that occur abundantly in their karst landscape. This record is almost entirely undocumented by professional archaeologists, and the Mississippian archaeological record of Smith and Washington counties. It is found almost entirely in private collections and the publications of relic collectors, where that record has been studied for more than a decade by the author. In consequence, the Yuki Indians are unknown to the vast majority of Virginians, who believe that American Indian culture in Virginia stops at Amherst County and the Monacan Nation. Just as the author's article last year about the triumph of Anglo-Americans stressed the significance of the Western Virginia for the development of America, so the present article stresses the significance of Western Virginia for its role in Indian culture. Sadly, the Virginia obsession with its oh my God, I gotta take a sip. My throat is like burning. Stressing the significance of Western Virginia for the development of America. So the present article stresses the significance of the Western Virginia for its role in Indian culture. Sadly, the Virginia obsession with its Eastern history continues to obscure the dominant role of Virginia's Western history. Indian recognition in Virginia. January 2018 will forever stand as a landmark month in the history of Virginia American Indians. The month President Donald Trump signed legislation creating 6 new federally recognized Virginia tribes. January the 18th will forever stand as a landmark month in the history of Virginia American Indians tribes: the Nensman, the Chickahominy, Eastern Chickahominy, Upper Mattapony, Rapatnak, and the Monacan. In addition to the Patunky Indian tribe that obtained federal recognition in 2016, there are also 4 Commonwealth of Virginia only recognized tribes: the Cheronka, the Natawa Mattapony, the Patama. Collectively, these 11 politically recognized tribes have an enrolled membership of about 6,000 individuals. 10 of these tribes are based in tidewater, in watersheds of the Rappahannock, York, and the Jones River. The 11 Monacan tribe is situated near Lynchburg in central Virginia. It is 300 miles from Lynchburg to Virginia's Cumberland Gap. Thus, there is a vast area of western and southwestern Virginia devoid of any recognized tribes. Ironically, as it recounted in this article, the earliest Virginia tribes we can document in a historic record came from the western part of Virginia. These tribes are encountered by the Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century, and we've read many stories about these things. Contrary to the popular view that the Virginia began in Jamestown, it in fact began in the farthest western end of the present-day state in Lee County. The first 2 Europeans to set foot in the present-day state of Virginia in 1541 were the Spaniards, John de Villebois from Seville and Francisco de Cervera from Galicia, who were marauders from the De Soto expedition. 26 years later, in April of 1561, Hernando Mayona de Morales led in a detachment of Juan Pardo's soldiers northwest from Fort San Juan at Jura to present-day Morganton, North Carolina, and attacked an Indian village at Saltville that the Spanish called Maniatique, I believe. A lot of these things, y'all, I don't know how to pronounce because they're very unfamiliar, so I'm doing the best I can. If I'm saying it wrong, please excuse that. No disrespect. Thus, the Spanish encountered the Yuki Indians in Appalachia in 1541 and in 1567. The Yuki are a small group of Native American people who are today, as they were in the past, widely dispersed throughout the United States. Today, the principal Yuki population resides in Oklahoma, with minor populations scattered through the Appalachian and the Southeast. A unique characteristic of the Yuki people is their distinctive isolate language, the Waktelic. The Yuki historian and language student study asserts that the Tanasi, meaning meeting of the waters in Yuki, give Tennessee its name. Linguists say, linguists such as Mary Lynn Judge, that the Yuki language separated from all other languages more than 6,000 years ago. The Yuki language separated from all other languages more than 6,000 years ago. The uniqueness of their language gives the Yuki historical distinctiveness today. Only a handful of native speakers of the unique Yuki isolate language are still alive in Oklahoma to this day. This is a figure shown in the U.S. Atlas where they were. Right here, this was the Shawnee Nation. This is the Choctaw Nation. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more, just in case you guys can see a little better. Okay, so make sure it's all the way in there. Okay, so let's see. It's still going over. Okay, anyway, you see this is the Shawnee Nation. This is Cumberland. This has the Yuki tribe. They were right here in between the Cherokee, the Coasati, the Chickasaw, the Nasian, the Oshanichi. I'm pronouncing these like so bad, I know. The Chirwa, the Sugary, the Water Tree, the Congaree, the Pado. These are different tribes that were all around, and we see them right there in the middle, correct? It's not a book, darling. It's a PDF. And we are reading information from the PDF in itself. And the PDF is titled, let me go up here so I can read it to show you guys real quick. We were on page 4, so we'll get right back to it. This is actually, let me give you a full. This is the PDF. This is from Glansfield Yuki Roll. This is the PDF of that. The Yuki Indians of. Okay, the Yuki Indians of Southwest Virginia and their role historical journal of the Western Virginia. These are pages 23-1, 38, 47. This was published, particularly this area, in 2018. And it shows the Yuki Indians of Southwest Virginia and their 1857 role. So this is where we're reading this information from for anyone else that may be still curious. All right. Oh gosh, I'm getting my sinuses are starting to give me a headache, like literally when I'm sitting here, guys. Hold on 1 second. I'm at the take a second. I'll be right with you guys. Okay. Maybe I did need that little 2-week break. Yeah, the YouTube threatened me with this little 2-week break. I had to send them something yesterday. I didn't know I was going to go live yesterday because they had threatened to have me blocked for 2 weeks, and I didn't appeal, and basically letting them know my rights, and they let me go. So I was definitely not prepared to do anything yesterday, and my mind has been thrown off ever since. I have like this massive headache from my sinuses. The weathers, we have a lot of HARP interaction going on here in Texas right now, so this weather has been absurd, but yeah. Okay, so let's continue on, guys. I showed you a little bit of that. So the older member of the Remnant Yuchi Nation remembered that his grandmother, who lived in Gate City in Virginia, about 6 miles north of Kingsport, spoke some Yuki. No living Virginia Indians are native language speakers, though. The Monacan people of the Central Virginia spoke an extinct Siouan language, which the Tidewaters tribe spoke extinct Algonquin languages. The Tidewater tribe spoke extinct Algonquin languages. Figures 1 and 2 are two noteworthy maps among many that show the Yuki. Figure 1 shows a detail from the generalized map, like we just watched, the Indian central areas with the Yuki displayed along the Tennessee River and stretching into Virginia. Generalized maps such as this one cannot be taken too seriously. As they said, the map lines of territory demarcation are an Anglo-American concept, unrecognized by Indians, which, we can kind of debunk that because you guys know we saw a map and it showed all the Indian areas, so on and so forth. I may pull that back up so that we can double check that, but you guys know that it showed that they were all Indian territories. There's no debating that. I don't know if that's what they're saying. Modern historical scholarships, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Scholarships have been recently turned its attention to the Yuki, and principally through the efforts of John Baird Jackson. Modern scholarships place the Yuki in northwest Tennessee and southwest Virginia. In the sketch map that follows a map published in 1912, which you guys know, as I said, we've seen the official map, so we're going to skip past that particular information. The Archaeology of the Southwest Virginia. The only extended study of the regional archaeology of Southwest Virginia in nearly 50 years old is the Smithsonian Institute. The survey conducted by C.G. Holland, he wrote, "It is rare to find a site in Southwest Virginia that has not been systematically searched by nearby collectors," letting you know that everything has been stolen, as we know anyway. Indeed, it is impossible to grasp the extensive Mississippian quality of the region where the present-day remnant Yuki people live without taking account of the enormous amount of improper archaeology that has been carried out there. And this is showing it again. Virginia, this is West Virginia, Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, and this is where they were. Chiaha. Chiaha, where the Yuki cried. This right over here on this side of the borderline with the Shiska. Holland described the extent of this improper archaeology in 1970 on page of his book in the preface. It says that in contrast to the professionals, the local collectors are a potent group in Southwest Virginia archaeology, and I am indebted to some of them for much help. On the other hand, they have been a most destructive force. About 40 years ago, one of the families of several brothers began to dig at night in open sites and to enter caves for artifacts. Through the following years, this man, with single minded determination, dug in nearly all the open pottery bearing sites and the caves within the large studios and the salt mine, probably taking it to other places. A town that Bridget Smith in the Washington country. The artifacts sought were mainly pipes, ear ornaments, shell pendants, and similar objects that were highly prized and sold well. Freaking thieves. They take all this stuff so we don't have a way to track our history because they, steal these things and, obviously cover up. Others of the family took up this activity and the pattern spread to embrace many people in their town and surrounding community. It is estimated that 40 to 50 people are now engaged in the destructive digging between Tazewell and Washington counties. This is where we should be going. We should be having trips to go to these areas. We should be doing our own archaeological digs. We should be handling everything that we need to do ourselves, not leaving anything to these people. Peace to you, bro. Fun fact, my city, Anderson, Indiana, was named after Chief William Anderson. He was part of one of those tribes and was pushed out of his land here. Come on, man. Come on. Look, if we be knowing our history. This is the stuff we have to be writing down so that we're able to transpire this information. These small bits of information, these little pieces of information that sometimes we may think aren't pertinent. They may not even bring any facts or truth to anybody's mind, but when you compare these things and you put them along with other truths, come on now, when it's in your face, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I go to the mounds in Anderson, Indiana every year. It's a lake there full of broken bricks. Oh my gosh, we gotta do a trip there. That's I'm from Chicago, guys. I used to go to Indiana a lot. I'm not very familiar. I've been to like Gary and a couple of other towns I can't recall around Gary, near Chicago, but not very familiar with Anderson. But maybe, brother, we can get together and we can actually plan a trip there. We've got something we're going to be doing with Chi Alpha in his area. We're going to put in something to get a trip going there so we can check out the star forts and things there. So, King Ty, if you get a chance, bro, hit me and maybe we can get something set up because we definitely want to explore these areas. We got to. We can't just keep leaving this stuff unexplored or have proof and facts that we can show to our kids, right? Because we're not going to be playing games with these people. Okay. In contrast, proper archaeology in Smith and Washington counties has been relatively modest in extent and never directed at study Mississippian culture in the region. A 25-year survey of work by amateur archaeologists in Washington County notes the prior disturbances of many of their studies. So mind you, this is then. You got to imagine hundreds of years before that, all the things that have been taken and, by these relic hunters and give no hint of the rich Mississippian culture in the region. A rare glimpse of Mississippi and Virginia from the perspective of proper archaeology comes from a 1996 article by two archaeologists that labels the Saltville Chilhowie region of Smith County a salt powdered chiefdom. These authors observed that the prehistory of the Saltville is one of the most fascinating developments within. Yeah, I gotta take this down. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Be right with you. All right, guys. Thanks for waiting for me. Okay, the authors observed that the prehistory of the Saltville, they got a lot of salt, is one of the most fascinating developments within they say Native American, but we know these cultures within the Commonwealth. They noted that the site of the Chahawi yielded artifacts showing the Mississippian influence, and decided that the use of the salt resource spurred the development of high cultural level in the region. They concluded due to the perishable nature of the salt resource and the destruction by modern development and or looting of the majority of archaeological sites relating to it, the direct evidence of the mining, manufacturing, and trading of salt from Saltville is difficult to obtain through an examination of collateral evidence. However, it would appear that such activities did occur in Saltville Valley with far-reaching implications for the social organization of the Southwest Virginians. Okay, these are some of their artifacts, and something that um, they had taken, misplaced, so on and so forth. Broken pottery pieces, things of that nature, just showing that the history was there. The Mississippian art objects called gorges that are made from outer shell of saltwater conch shells were studied by these people because these are some of the things, just some of the little, this is a stone pipe, some artifacts that they had. We're not going to read all of this, guys. We're going to go into some other roles. They have these people that are that they've come and stolen, and they got them showing here. Oh yeah, we over here searching artifacts. Yeah, I ain't gonna even get into all of that. Okay, so boom, I don't want to read this whole article, you guys. As you know, that can like get into a lot. I wanted to get you guys to really see that, and I'm gonna read another bit of information real quick. And yeah, this is gonna be a nice little short one. I'm not really feeling that great, guys. I wanted to, I've been postponing and having to change some of my information with these lives and what I was doing. So I'm gonna actually, no, that's not the one. Is that the one I wanted to show? No, that's not the one. Hold on a second, guys. I'm not feeling too great. I'm sorry. My voice is like out of sync. My head is pounding. Um, gonna have to do a steam real quick, a face steam, so I can clear my sinuses because this is like too much right now. But I want to read a little bit more of this with you guys before we get out of here. All right, let me check a little chat real quick. Um, okay. Nothing I missed, nothing I missed. Didn't want to ignore you guys. You're awesome. All right, let's see. All right. This is talking about which part did I want to read? I'm not going to read all this. But there was something I wanted to read. Okay, this is talking about the populations. In 1715, they were saying it was like 400 of them. In 1730, it diminished to like 200. In 1883, there were 500 to 700. In 2013, there were over 3,000, 3,800 of these Yuki Indians that were spread out. Small bands of the Yuki moved into South Carolina in 1661, living along the Savannah River. The Yuki fought with the Yamasee and other tribes against white settlers in the Yamasee War of 1715. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but I'll put it in the chat if anyone wants to look that particular information up. Let me put that on there right quick. Because it said that they fought with the Yamasee and other tribes against the white settlers in the Yamasee War of 1715. I think that's an important fact. Many of them left Carolina and moved west to join the Creek Indians in 1751. So this is another part of their trail of tears going to these different areas, and this shows the history of how they moved, how they migrated, how they were like running to these different areas to get away from these settlers that were moving in and perishing everything around the land. So the dwellings of the Yuki Indians, the home structures covered with dark clay or woven mat log houses, villages built along streams. Homes were grouped around a central square where ceremonies and social gatherings took place. With their food, with the Yuki Indians, the farming was primarily corn, plus beans, squash, pumpkin, and sunflowers. Fishing was freshwater fish, sometimes caught by the poisoning streams to stun the fish. So they would poison the stream. The hunter deer, rabbits, and other small game hunted using blowguns, bows and arrows, and dogs. Okay, this is a Yuki. This is the Yuki tribe, the big turtle dance. Let me see if I can zoom in on this picture. If it's gonna let me, I'll have to. Let me see. You can see these people, right? You see these people. They look. They keep saying Native American, but you guys can see these people, right? You see them, right? Like, I mean, it's crazy how they always want to say these Native American, American Indians. Like, we know the Native Americans, they are a mixed mulatto race. They are mixed with Spaniards, and they have so many different seeds within them. So how they always, this is an actual picture. The Yuki Big Turtle Dance, 1909. Okay. All right. It said beliefs and practices of the Yuki Indians. The Yuki traditional associate the sun with their tribal origin accounts, right? Why? Because the sun gives us life. Make this smaller so I can read that part. Okay, hold on. Okay. Like many tribes in the Southwest, they held a yearly corn harvest ceremony. Their green corn ceremonies continue to be held to this day in the Allendale County communities of Hattieville, Little Hill, St. Mary, and Briar Creek, as well as Asbury and Pine Grove in Shreveport County, Georgia. Infants believed to be connected to the Creator Spirit. Infants believed to be connected to the Creator Spirit for some time after birth were not named until they were 4 or 5 days old. Now, this is important when it comes to something I keep talking to you guys about when we're speaking about these people cutting off the spirit of the being, our children. When they come out, you're not supposed to have your children in biblical court. Um, a stipend. So that cord actually leads to their life, their stem cells, their binary code information, light code information. So when they cut that off, they know that the child is not stimulated by that, and they're not enhanced by that information, by that coding, by that life-giving information. So this is so important. They disseminate this from us from like the beginning. Like it's crazy. From the Daughters of the Confederate because they help change history. Daughters of the Confederate. I'm not familiar with the Daughters of the Confederate, brother, but I'll look that up. Let me write it down. I'll check it out. Daughters of the Confederate. All right, I'll look that up, brother. I'll see if this is the same thing. Yes, so much. Yes, Wonder America. So much hidden history. Like it's like crazy. Great her like grandma. Hi, says how are you? How are you? Haven't seen you in a while, babe. Yes, yes. A lot of our history is crazy, right? So infants were believed to be connected to the creator spirit from the other time after birth. Didn't I tell you guys this? This is important. They know this. Like I said, they take so much of our history and they hide it from us so that we don't know it. And sure enough, here's the confirmation. I've been telling you guys this forever. They start to disseminate our children within the womb. First with those what do you call it? The ultrasound waves. The ultrasound sonic waves that they put through the ionic belly when the baby is being formed, trying to disseminate things within the cycle of that child's growth, and the light cell manipulation and things of that nature via the binary code that the child is developed into, causing breaks in that, whatever they're doing with that. And then when they come out after that, they cut off the placenta so the child is not able to receive everything that it should for those 4 or 5 days until that cord actually falls off naturally. Use rabbit tobacco. They use rabbit tobacco, which was known as live ever after, coon root, and saw palmetto for medicine. I use all these things too. I'm not familiar with rabbit tobacco. Let me write that down, guys, because I might have to look that up. It may be called something else now, but I can at least look it up. They use rabbit tobacco. I'm not familiar with that. Or they're just talking about regular tobacco when they called it that at the time. I'm not sure. I love saw palmetto. Okay. So these are the whited out ones, so on and so forth. So I just like to put a little bit of information to you guys that I can. Hold on, there's something else I want to show you guys. Where's that part? That I can, just so you can kind of get a gist of what was going on with our people. It says that the Yuki is the language of the Tusyaha people, if I'm saying it right. Tosoyaha, also known as the Yuki people now living in Oklahoma. Historically, they lived in what is now known as the southeastern United States. Okay, let me put this in the chat for you guys. Including eastern Tennessee, western Carolinas, northern Georgia, and Alabama. During a period of early European colonization, these are the spots that they moved to. The Yuki language, it says that the Yuki is the language of the Tasahoya. So this is the children of the sun. Let me actually put that in the chat correctly. I was going to put this. I think. Hold on. Put this in here. Okay, so the children of the sun. The Yuki is the language of the Soyaha. Maybe the T is silent. The Soyaha tribe, which is children of the sun. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta get my grandbaby. Nana duties. Give me a second. So basically, guys, so thanks for holding. So yeah, so the Yuki is the language of the sun children, the children of the sun. Do you guys find that fascinating like I do? It takes you back to some other information we talk about all the time, right? Now, the Yuki Indians are North American, as we said, looking at those areas belonging to the Southeastern Indian cultural group. We also just read the information that said that Trump signed for these particular rights and things. So we can do what? We can now go into different things that allow us to claim our heritage, but you have to go and find your heritage. We've been talking about this a little bit when it comes to the law of the lands and the nations. Mommy, yes, baby. Yeah. Okay. So I got unexpected. Got one of my grandbabies, the little one, and a little distracting. Hold on, but I'm gonna finish this up real quick, guys. There's only a little bit more of this I want to read. I want to read you some of the ethical things and the cultural things, right? It said, what is the Yuki religion? Today, the majority of Cherokees practice some denomination of Christianity, with Baptists and Methodists in most common. However, a significant number of the Cherokees still observe the practice of the older traditions. However, a significant number of Cherokees still observe the practice of older traditions, meeting at stomp grounds in local communities to hold stomp dances and other ceremonies. So this is the religious practice, the spiritual nature practiced by certain areas. Okay, so it says that, what else I was going to read? Uh, it was something else I had here in my notes. Hold on, guys. Let me go back. Okay. Now, what did they believe in? It said that the people of the tribe called themselves the Soyad, the Soyad, which is the offspring of the sun, and the sun was undoubtedly their chief deity. So they considered the sun being a deity, but it was not. Sun worship was in the southwest, southeast, as they see. Yes, babe. In the southeast. What? You don't know what you want to do. How do you pronounce the Yuki tribe? Listen really quickly, because I may be saying it wrong. Let's check it out.
Yuchi.
Yuchi. So it's Yuchi, just like chi. I should have known that with the chi at the end of it, right? You know I'm off this morning. So it's the Yuchi tribe. So there was sun worship, which a lot of our people, ancient people, they always go back to sun worship. Why is that? Because all of our people have melanin, and we know that we connect to the sun, and the melanin is actually something that helps to ignite the plasma within our blood, and it actually gives us that chi. It actually gives us that energy. It actually ignites the plasma so that it actually bursts those crystals within us, because we have that Christos within us, right? So that's a whole a lot of history that goes back, and it's phenomenal to me that actually shows a lot of that. We're going to read a little bit of information right here, and we are done, guys. This was a nice little bill. Just wanted to go over a little bit of information with you. Actually, no, I'm not going to get into this Cherokee stuff. We're going to kind of leave it at that. Yeah, I think I'm going to kind of leave it at that, guys. When it comes to that language, though, I did want to just show you the different things that are going on. They have all these different tribes we're not even aware of. They have all these tribes that have been mixed. They have so many things that are going on that we don't even see half the time what it is. And you know what I'm saying? It's like the hidden truth, all the disbursement, the trail of tears of our people for like so many different, different times and ages. What, babe? You don't know what you want to do. Yeah, I'm definitely. Yeah, let me get into see what's going on with this baby. A little irritable and sleepy. Put his little butt to sleep. He been up early, I'm sure. And yeah, so let's see. It's so sad that Curiamo elaborated on the son being called Jesus. Curiamo, who is Curiamo? Is that something we just read? That sounds familiar. I'm a little distracted, guys. I swear, between the headache and other stuff. But I'm trying to not skip over this information that I want to bring to you guys. I'm going to look that up. The son being called Jesus with a G. Where is that? Can you drop a link or something to that information, Israel? I'd like to definitely check it out. I'll look it up, but if you have some specific information or email it to me, I would appreciate it. Said that the son was called Jesus. Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. All right. And that's how CIA said how to yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh wow. So guys, I will be back this afternoon. I do have another build plan for you guys. This was unplanned and unwarranted. Yesterday I decided I wanted to talk about this real briefly because this article that I received, one of you guys sent me this. Unfortunately, I do not remember who. If you know, if you sent me this article, please put it in the chat. I'm so sorry. I got a lot of emails and things, and the names, if I'm not very familiar with it, I'm not going to know it. So don't think I'm not acknowledging you. I do apologize, darling. But I'll look and check my email next time to make sure I recognize that because I appreciate when you guys send me good information. And this, it all ties into the stuff we're always talking about, like it's supposed to. It's just phenomenal. But peace, love, blessings, and everything until later, guys. Make sure you guys are having an awesome day. Make sure you check in with me a little bit later on because we will be doing another build.